Good evening, everyone. Hope you have had a good Monday. We are here again in the studio live on a Monday night celebrating episode number 200. Woo! That seems invaluable to me at the beginning of this process, but this has been really a fun experience for me. I love sharing these times with you guys and creating together. So thank you for tuning in and joining me on all of our little adventures here. So tonight, as you can see here in front of me, I have, I'm going to focus on the In Color collection that is going to be headed out of the catalog. Coming at the end of May here. So pretty soon there'll be a last chance list and all that kind of stuff. And we know these 5 colors are going to definitely be on that list. And of course, anything that goes with that. So it's going to be the cardstock, the ink pads, the markers, the twine or the bling that's in those colors. Any of the DSP, of course, that has those colors in it. The refills, all that kind of stuff. So if there is a color amongst these that you absolutely love and do not want to stop using, nope, I guess my light's out again. Don't want to stop using, make sure you snag these now, because once those get put out there on that list, they're going to go really fast. So if you haven't yet placed an order during your celebration, this would be a great time to do something like that and then earn some other free goodies along with it as well. So again, running those down, that's Copper Clay, Wild Wheat, Boho Blue, Moody Mauve, and Pebbled Path. So those 5 colors I've used monochromatically on all of my samples tonight. So you'll see one sample with each of these colors. And again, if this is something you think you want to keep using or you haven't picked up yet and you know you're going to want it, grab it now. Definitely grab it now, because it's going to be gone before we know it. Oh, that's a shadow of my arm. Okay. Once that hits the last chance list. All right. So in honor of episode 200, I decided to have a little fun fold for you tonight. So that is why you have some other funky things added to the what you need to have list, like a bone folder and a scoring tool of some sort and a ruler and a pencil, because we're going to be doing a little measuring on our stuff tonight. So here we go. You are going to need a piece of cardstock that's 5.5 by 8.5, and it's going to be scored at 4.25. My on-camera sample tonight is Pebbled Path. And then you needed 2 pieces of cardstock, coordinating cardstock, that are 2 3/4 by 2 3/4 each. My accent color is going to be basic black. Then you needed a piece of DSP that was 4 by 5.25. I have this one, and I am realizing, as per usual, guys, I forgot to cut another piece of DSP. So talk amongst yourselves. Give me 1 second to go grab that, because I need another one. I'm not sure where I put it. Okay. So this one here that I've got tonight is the Winter Meadow, and it's in the annual catalog still. It has some really cute patterns, of course, wintry scenes, but I think this one would be good just about any time. I know it kind of looks a little woodsy with the deer and everything like that, but I think that's a really good match for it. So, okay, let me go with, this one. I don't know how I missed bringing that piece over, but of course, if you know me, you know I forget something. Hi, Tina. Hi, Carla. I was just lamenting that, of course, I forgot to bring over a piece of DSP that I need. Not sure how I missed that, but, if you know me that this happens on a regular basis. All right, so there we go. And now I have another piece of DSP. I know, right, Tina? 200. Woohoo! All right, so back to this. So you needed DSP 4 by 5.25 and 2.5 by 2.5. They can be the same, or they can be coordinating. That is totally up to you, depending on the look you're going to go for. And then you needed a neutral square that's also 2.5 by 2.5. And then, hi, Kathy Joe. And then, right, Carla? It's not an episode if I don't forget something. Then you need so images, die cut pieces, phrase, whatever it is that you want to have on there, you're going to need that to fill your neutral square. Okay. So here we're going to go ahead with the first part, and we're going to make our fun fold section. So set all these guys aside for a second. Keep your 4 by 5.25 piece handy of DSP. And of course, first thing you're going to do is go ahead on your natural score line, use your bone folder to beef that up. Okay. Then I want you to take your ruler, and we're going to go 1 inch over from the fold line up at the very top, just make a little tick mark with your pencil. And if this shows a little bit later, all you need to do is just erase it when you're done. Okay? I know, Tina, joys of live TV, right? All right, then turn that to the side, and you're gonna measure up from the corner, the bottom right corner, 2 1/4 inches. And then you're gonna make that other tick mark there, okay? Then we're actually gonna put our DSP on before we finish the fun fold section. Okay, so add that right there and make sure you can still see your tick marks. If they need to be a little longer, do that. Okay, so there we've got that cut, or layered, and you've got a 1-inch tick mark here, and you have a 2 1/4 inch tick mark up from the bottom of here. Now, if you have your paper trimmer as your scoring tool, what you're gonna wanna do is put those tick marks into the track. So make sure this one is in the track and this one is in the track, and then you'll slide your thing across like that. If you just have your bone folder and your ruler, that will also work. So I'll show you how that does. So, hello. You're gonna take that ruler and join those tick marks. So you have this one lined up at this one, and this one lined up at this edge. Take your bone folder and run it over here a bunch of times. You're gonna want a nice crease to get through both of those layers, okay? Then fold it down, and let's burnish that really good with the edge of our bone folder. So what you're gonna end up with is a corner fold that we're gonna add an element to, okay? At this point, I would recommend adhering this down. So I'm taking my regular adhesive, or if you need a little something stronger, depending on how thick your cardstock and other things ended up for you, you could use a stronger adhesive or glue or something like that. And just take a look, and if you see your tick marks, you can go ahead and erase those. I think mine got hidden pretty well. All right, so that is step 1 of our fun fold for tonight. So set that aside, grab your neutral square, and let's go ahead and do a little decorating. I am using the stamp set called Delicate Forest and one called So Sincere for my phrasing. It had a phrase in it that I like to use a little bit better than the ones that came in the other one. Normally I don't try to jump around too many different stamp sets. I like to show the versatility in all of it, but that was where I landed tonight in a couple different ones. All right, so I am gonna take my phrase and pop that onto there. So it says, "You're in my heart and prayers." And then I have these tiny little tree elements, and I'm gonna stamp that off once so that they just end up a little bit lighter. And, let's see if there's another good one. We'll drop it down a little bit. Okay, so there are my little tree elements. So again, you decorate that up however you want. If you have die cut pieces, if you have images you're gonna color, all that great stuff, it's all just gonna fill up your little square there. And let me set these aside without sticking my fingers in the ink. All right, go ahead and grab your other piece of DSP and your 2 squares. Let me move my black cardstock out of the way, because since I'm using black, it won't show up as well. So we're gonna layer these on to those extra pieces of cardstock. Okie dokie. Then bring back in your card base. Now the images that we have, they're gonna go on the front, and you're gonna want to run adhesive just along the edge. Don't get too close to these edges because there is gonna be a little bit of a border. But remember, you're only gonna want to have your adhesive on the inside parts of your triangular space. Now this should fit nicely with a border, and also then matching up the corners along the diagonal line, okay? So you should have a fairly even border around, and your corners should, for the most part, line up with those right there. Now you absolutely could leave this how it is at this point. You could add, of course, your 4 by 5 1/4 panel in here, or if you didn't want that to show through, you could add a smaller panel that would be hidden, and then just write or stamp on that. But if you feel like this looks a little unfinished, which is kind of the vibe I got from it, that's why we have that other piece that we made here. We're just gonna match those up. And then you could do, whoopsie, that stuck to my finger. Then you could do something with this as well. So I'll show you later on a sample. I put a phrase on this one, as well as something from my inside. So there's different ways you can do that. And so again, if you didn't catch those measurements at the beginning, it's a 1-inch tick from this side and a 2 1/4 up from the bottom to create that angle cut. All right, so let's take a look at some other samples. I used a variety of different things, both from upcoming online exclusives and stuff in the regular and the mini catalog. So quite a variety of stuff we've got going on to look at tonight. So here is, I think I showed you this stamp set last week, and I used one of the mother and daughter ones. And so here we've got the dad and son or buddy sessions image right here. So they're mixing up some sort of fun cake batter there. So this is our boho blue sample, and I've paired it with crumb cake, and I have vanilla here for this guy. And I took my blends to color these guys in, and I wanted to kind of match this gingham that we have going on. So I took the pen end of my blend, and I made that little gingham pattern on his pocket. So it kind of carries over our gingham, our checked theme there. I added these images randomly around my DSP. Just to give that a little bit more interest. It was a little plain when I just put it down by itself. So the busier the DSP is here, the less I think you have to worry about beefing it up or embellishing it. So here's where I added a phrase to the inside. So it says, doesn't matter what we do as long as I'm with you. And then Happy Father's Day. And again, I have my cute little baking image to carry that through to the inside of the card. All right, then if you took my Spring Corners add-on class from Super Stampin' Sunday, you've already made one like this. This was my make and take sample from that particular class. So this uses Wildly Flowering Designer Series paper, and then the Spring Corners stamp set, which is in the mini catalog. I've brought in some of that jute twine. So there's a 5-pack. It's much thicker than like our regular baker's twine, or much thinner, of course, than linen thread. But you get all 5 in colors in that pack, so you'll get all of them to go with everything that you want to have with the in colors. And then on the inside, you'll see I added a little more strip here. I've got some DSP over here. And then I have one of these little accent pieces from the stamp set in there that just to balance out some things on the inside. Okie dokie. Then we're going to move on to copper clay. And I went into the online store for this DSP. It's Nests of Winter. You might recognize it from last holiday catalog. It has remained in the online store. So I took one of the pieces of DSP here, and I fussy cut my bird from another piece. This started out as basic beige, and then I sponged around a little bit with my blending brush, some of the copper clay ink, just to kind of take some of the starkness out of that, let that blend a little better. And then I've got another piece of DSP from that collection on the inside. And then I carried a phrase through that says, hope you're feeling better soon. And that comes from So Sincere as well. All right, and last one before I show you the stepped up version, which there isn't a whole lot to step up because we already have some really funky layers and stuff going on. So it's really a matter of the extra elements and things like that you're going to be using. So again, this is Wildly Flowering DSP that has, so it has some mauve in it. It also has wild wheat, which is this one right here. And hopefully you can see the texture. If not, it'll probably show up better when I take an actual photo. I used the plaster painting embossing folder that I believe is in the online store. And I ran my DSP through that just to give it a little something before I put it onto my card front. And then again, from the Wildly Flowering or the Wildflower Design stamp set, I added my image and my phrase. And then I have some more of that jute twine in the wheat that I added in there. And then here's another one of those pieces from the Wildly Flowering DSP. And I haven't decided what I want to do on the inside of this one yet, so I've left it right there because it just says you've been on my mind. So it's really kind of maybe just a note card thinking of you situation. So I'll probably just put a plain panel in there and write a little note. So that is my wild wheat version. Okay, so you've seen all of the in color ones now. So let's bring this back in. This was the one we made together. And then, like I said, for the stepped up version, I didn't change a whole lot. I just added I took my bow punch and I punched out some of these little leafy shapes from Pebbled Path, and I added them behind my piece here. You can see I used a different image from that, what's it called? Delicate Forest. This is one larger stamp by itself. And so I inked it up and then I stamped it off once so that it's a little bit lighter and you can still see my phrase through that. So that was one of the larger images from that, Delicate Forest stamp set. And then I added a couple of white sequins, which are in the Neutral Sequins collection. And then I've got some more of that on the inside. And again, I have a little extra DSP hiding here with a little layer of Pebbled Path behind it. So hi, Laura. How good to see you. So that is the basic idea. It's a little bit of a, I know, kind of a fun fold. Hopefully that went through well for you guys. And if you just watched, I totally understand, because sometimes you want to take a little beat and get the feel for it before you create. But I can't wait to see what you guys do with this. Hi, Karen. Oh, dishes. Well, that's not very fun. But thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Okay, so let me review again. We focused on outgoing in colors. Out in, so you know. So this was the Pebbled Path version. Here's Wild Wheat and Copper Clay and Moody Mauve and Boho Blue. Okay, so again, if those are colors that you haven't had a chance to pick up yet, but you want, or you want to make sure you can keep using beyond, oh good, Carla, I can't wait to see what you made. Beyond when the catalog is done, make sure you snag those. And like I said, if you haven't placed an order yet during Celebration, that might be a good thing to stock up on. Get your ink pad refills, cardstocks, all those different things that you want to keep using in these in colors. And then add a couple, you know, maybe some other little bits that you need, and then snag yourself some free goodies. So remember, the minimum order for Celebration goodies this year has risen to $60. Still not so bad. They kept it at $50 for a number of years. I've been kind of surprised that it hasn't had to rise before now, but they're very conscious about not increasing prices for us until they really feel it's very necessary. So that's been a really neat thing to see. So, all right. I think that is going to do it for me tonight. Thank you guys all for tuning in live. Whether you were here the whole time or just popped in, it was great to see you and chat with you. If you do make one of these samples, feel free to post it in the comments of the video or in the comments on the album when I post that. So yay, Tina was cut ready. Woohoo! Just FYI, it shouldn't really change much of anything for what I do, but Facebook has decided they're going to eliminate storing live videos beyond 30 days. I usually let them just stay there forever. So they'll only stay for 30 days on my feed, and then they'll disappear, but I always download them and put them on my YouTube channel. So they will always be there for you to find whenever, but just so you know, they're going to start disappearing off my main page after the time period runs out. So thanks, Karen. I think this was a fun layout too. Like I said, a little bit of a fun fold to celebrate our 200th time crafting together. So thanks again, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I will see you again next Monday night. Bye.